We are on the line this morning with Laura Charanza, who joins us from the Dallas area. We're just talking to somebody from Dallas last hour. We get a chance to talk with Laura this hour. And Laura is an expert on narcissism, author of the best-selling book, Ugly Love, A Survivor's Story of Narcissistic Abuse. Conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Laura, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to talk with you here today. Two in a row from Texas here on Indiana in the morning. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? And our weather is comparable to yours this morning, I hear.
You're getting what we're getting today.
Yes.
But that's unusual for you, not for us. So, hey, I wanted to talk to you about this because I find the topic fascinating. Is a little bit of narcissism all that bad in consideration of a child growing up and developing their sort of their personality and their characteristics that they're going to take into their adult years? Your position is it's not all that bad, or at least there are elements of it that can be very helpful, huh?
Absolutely. As a child grows, he or she needs to learn to make decisions by themselves as they get older. You know, like us, you can be on the radio because you have confidence to do so, make speeches, interview for a job, whatever it may be. And those traits of narcissism help children develop that confidence. When it gets to be overboard, though, is when we need to worry.
Yeah, I would guess that that's the case in anything. So how does it manifest itself in a child, narcissistic tendencies that are helpful to them?
That are helpful to them?
Yeah.
Being able to take care of themselves on the playground. If they're bullied, they go and tell the teacher, or, you know, perhaps they hit back, even though that's not good. But they learn to fight back, to stand up for themselves. It looks selfish in a child, but really it's just them learning to survive in this world that we live in.
Well, of course, narcissism is not something that we ascribe, we sort of aspire to when we're growing up and when we are adults. It does not have the best reputation. However, the idea there is a line. You're right. There's a line between confidence and egotism. And I think that establishing that line, particularly in a young person, is a really important part of their development.
It is. True narcissism has both genetic components and environmental. So if you believe that a child is developing true narcissistic tendencies, it's good to get them in front of a therapist. And those tendencies can look like, they call them megalomaniac behaviors, like wanting power over people, maybe, you know, breaking a pencil over your classmate's head, or being the bully on the playground and pushing everyone down. You know, those are things you need to worry about, aggressive, attention-seeking behaviors.
Yeah, we certainly don't want them developing into Dr. Evil, but at the same time, we do want them to develop a healthy sense of their self. And a part of that has to do with the way that they relate to others. Not just in terms of how do I feel about this person over there or that person over here, but how can I be somebody who is a positive influence in the lives of those around me? And kids might not think of it in those terms, but that's really what they're developing, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And if you look at, let's just say, look at unhealthy parenting versus healthy parenting. Unhealthy parenting, you did not play basketball as well as Antonio did today. I'm just so disappointed in you. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to pay you any attention until you get out there and shoot 100 goals and get better. Healthy parenting is, I'm so proud of you. When Susie fell on the playground today, you picked her up. The teacher told me. It is so good to be a kind person, be nice to others. Studies have shown that the latter is what raises healthy children. Yeah,
and those sorts of reinforcements, when they're done properly, are going to be what really help the society as a whole to grow. And
exactly.
In today's world, of course, with all of the social media trolling that is going on out there, it's increasingly difficult, is it not, to get to that mindset in a child or really in the adults around them?
I believe so. So there's a reason that some people call Facebook, Fakebook, and Instagram, Instasham. I believe it sets an unrealistic standard for our children, especially our teenagers who are on social media the majority of the day. they compare themselves to that beautiful girl or great picture of a guy who's run the photo through 8 filters and a couple of different color changes. It's unattainable standards, and that hurts anyone's confidence.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. In some ways, social media isn't a good thing. It's not a good thing. But, in some ways it is, because you can spread the word about things that are happening and, charity events, whatever it may be.
And how you find and how you use any technology, it's going to have a big impact on who you become. So you sat down and you wrote this book, Ugly Love, A Survivor's Story of Narcissistic Abuse. Boy, that title.
I did.
That title is loaded, Laura. Tell me about it.
I was raised by a narcissist, so I had that parent that would withhold love if I didn't perform to her standards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was detrimental to my development and my self-confidence and self-esteem. And then by the time I was an adult, you choose typically the unhealthy parent to marry, and I did that and was with him for 16 years. And finally realized my patterns, what was going on, with a lot of help, because I don't know if I would have lived much longer, to be honest, and I'm just a different person today because of the help I got. So I want to do the same for others. So I started by telling my story, and you wouldn't believe the people that have reached out to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would guess. And just in that description you just gave us and what you told us before, that really defines what narcissistic abuse is and how harmful it can be. So what was the turnaround for you? Was it a moment when you'd realized that you needed to make a change, or is it something you came to gradually?
It was gradual. I picked up a book by Lundy Bancroft. He's a psychologist that has worked with thousands of abusive men and a few women, and it turned a light on in my head, and I said, this is what I'm married to. And then I got into therapy and started working with a recovery coach, because it takes a lot after you've had 44 years of abuse. And just started feeling better and going, I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't deserve this.
Yeah. And so you started on a road to recovery. I know those roads are long and sometimes twisting, and sometimes they'll double back on you, and you'll find yourself in trouble again. But it sounds like you came out on the other end of it with a really healthy viewpoint.
It's possible. So if there's anyone listening to you and me today, it is possible. You can recover. You can get your life back, plus some.
Yeah. So what are some of the resources that you recommend for us, besides actually reading your book? And I want to ask you in a second how to get your book.
Honestly, you can just Google narcissism. Psychology Today has a great website. And the book I mentioned, Lundy Bancroft, B-A-N-C, he is fantastic. His book is it explains it so well. Mm-hmm. They're all different types of abuse that narcissists use. YouTube, I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, and I have a big following on TikTok, which surprises me. But people need a 90, 45-second dose of reality sometimes and encouragement. There
you go. Her name is Laura Charanza, and it's spelled Charanza, if people want to look her up on TikTok. But I'm glad I was able to talk with you about this today. It sounds like it's been something that you have struggled with for a while, and you've come to a really nice and better place in your life, and that's possible for anybody else as well. It sure is. I really appreciate the time, and it's been my pleasure. All right. Have a wonderful day today. You too. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. Good morning. It's 6.